All right, welcome back to the National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. I am Todd Martinez. I am up here with Kevin Arcia, and we are getting ready to watch Liberty Flames take on the Florida Gulf Coast University Eagles. This should be a really good game. Last year, Liberty played really strong. We're one of the favorites to win. And then Long Beach ended up taking it down. But Florida Gulf Coast also down here, both these teams getting ready. Both pretty pumped up for this game. Liberty really pumped up down here, bringing their 5 onto the field. And Florida Gulf Coast going to be wearing the gray jerseys with the green trim, or Florida Gulf Coast, yeah, and the gray jerseys with the green trim. Liberty Flames, Catfish, who do you think you got favored in this game?
You know what? I know that the Liberty's coming in with a new roster, but I'm thinking Liberty's going to be the heavy favorite in this match right here. I mean, they always come out strong. They always come out, they do their homework. They know what's going on. They know what it takes to win. They've been here, you know what I mean? They've been to the dance, so they know what needs to happen. They
do, and we also have the third member of our broadcast team, Kristen Kelly, down here by the Liberty pit. Kristen, what's going on down there?
Well, like you said, Liberty, new roster. This is a rebuilding year for their team. Their only returning starter is Aaron Thompson. You look at Florida Gulf Coast, their starting lineup, their entire starting lineup has played together since 2007 outside of the NCPA. Guys.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you can really see Liberty last year was one of the more united teams. You could see that this team was comfortable really playing together. And Florida Gulf Coast, too. I mean, I really like both these teams. It should be an interesting game. On the breakout here, Florida Gulf Coast going really hard towards that Dorito side right away, hitting into that big orange Dorito. Dorito 1. Liberty Flames keeping it a little bit tighter, doubling up the back center, and aggressive play right away from Florida Gulf Coast.
Going down the D side there, the Dorito side, making aggressive moves, trying to find that shot across the field. Looks like Liberty just, sitting back, trying to get the feel of Florida, seeing what they want to do here. Liberty losing a back player.
And the aggressive play from Florida Gulf Coast paying off right away in that red zone already. Shoots one body off the snake side for Liberty, and Liberty loses another body.
Here comes the pain.
Oh, and number 22 for Liberty Flames, that's Jeremy Miller, is going to wear it here early. Jeremy Miller, you can see him. He'll be playing the snake side for Boston. He's going to be representing Boston. We're going to see the replay real quick. You see on his loader, pray for Boston. He's a Boston native. That's him crawling up in the snake too, but here comes that Florida Gulf Coast player booking down the center of the field.
Letting him have a couple lumps there.
Going to make him take it. That might have been Landon Lewis or Javier Ortiz, but putting 1 point on the board right away. Florida Gulf Coast Eagles with an excellent display of aggressiveness down that Dorito side. They got into the orange zone right away. This year we have the blue zone, the orange zone, and the red zone. That blue zone, that's the back line of bunkers. Those are the initial bunkers a lot of players like to take when they start seeing them advance up the field into that mid zone, the orange zone, and then the all dangerous 50-yard line bunkers. Florida Gulf Coast able to get into that big red bunker right there, right near the 50, right away and start chopping bodies, kind of force the hand of Liberty to get into the snake, but Florida Gulf Coast, strong showing here, first point.
Well, they need to jump up on Liberty, man. I mean, Liberty's are veterans. They know what it takes, man. And the Eagles need to get a couple points before Liberty gets their composure back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it looks like we got Kristen down there again. Kristen, where you at?
All right, guys, I was talking with Liberty before, and they're really going to rely on Jeremy Miller in the snake. He's the most aggressive player out on the field for Liberty. They're hoping he can get in the lizard and make some kills, guys.
Yeah, he's the one that we were talking about a little bit down there. He's, representing Boston. You could see on his loader. I wanted to give a shout out to everybody back there in his hometown, for praying for the tragedy that happened out there at the Boston Marathon. Number 777, Tippy from Liberty, also wanted us to give a shout out to the Marines out in Afghanistan right before this game. So, Tippy, we're giving that shout out for you. On the breakout, Florida Gulf Coast again, heavy out towards that Dorito side. Seen a lot of action coming down the snake side up the middle.
Liberty coming in more aggressive this way on the snake, getting eliminated. Miller not making it to snake 1, but they're still in the orange zone here, Todd. You know, still taking up some real estate. Where Florida just coming in the snake 1, owning it. Now they're coming into the X, center X, just eliminating Liberty players here at will. Look for the paint train to come right here. Oh, wear it.
Oh, number 10, London Lewis tried to come through the middle of the field, got tore up. Liberty got a penalty right in the middle of that game by the player that tried to come up the middle. They dropped a body early, and then that penalty cost them 2 more, opening up the door for Florida Gulf Coast. Number 34, Robbie Podgorski, gonna run that flag in.
Making sure he's clean here.
And that's gonna be 2 points now for Florida Gulf Coast as the referee signals a good hang.
Rebuilding your, huh, Todd?
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay real quick. Here comes London Lewis, slept on the player in the back center who came out and blew him to bits as he tried to get that temple on the Dorito side. Those 2 players tried to cross it up, but too many Florida Gulf Coast players on the attack.
Eagles just swooping in on there.
Coming in right now, we got Bobby Majuk, number 631 from Liberty. You got number 6, Blissner. You got Brown. And then there's Tippy right there wearing the 71 jersey with flames on the back, as well as number 25, Matthew Robbins.
Mr. Robbins.
So here's the replay again, coming from that center A. Just totally forgets about the back center player for Liberty who comes out and just blows him to bits.
Itty bitty bits.
London Lewis gonna need to get in there, get his goggles, his head and his loader cleaned off.
He might just need a whole new jersey.
There we are right now in the pits that were in the flag station. That was Liberty. Getting ready, Florida Gulf Coast, taking some time. Get out here on the field. Michael Hirsch coming out for Florida Gulf Coast. London Lewis back on the field.
Looking like a Liberty
Luis
here.
Munoz. I saw Luis Munoz before this game, and he said that he was going to come hard down that Dorito side, number 77. That's him over there. He said it. 2 games in a row causing problems.
I heard it.
For Liberty.
Lots of problems.
You know, Liberty was the team that we saw last year just play really, really aggressively. You know, their breakouts have been, you know, kind of modest so far. You know, maybe if they can get a better attack going here, might kind of get them in their groove a little bit better, but going to be playing down 1 body right now to start.
Making it into the Dorito side. Oh, 2 Liberty players coming off 3. And it looks like Florida is just walking down the snake, literally walking down the snake.
Yeah, Michael Hirsch, you know, 3 bodies dropped pretty much right away. Liberty player tried to get out to that Dorito side on a delay and got shot going into the Dorito. I believe that was Bobby Majuk. He got shot, and then 2 of his buddies got shot behind him. They only started with 4. Then that back center player just got feasted on by the rest of the Florida Gulf Coast players. So, you know, early in this game, 7:45 left to go. We've only played 3 minutes, 2 minutes in this first half so far. So with a early 3-0 lead, we'll be right back after these messages. And we are back here at the 2013 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Todd Martinez. I'm here with Kevin Arcia. We got Kristen Kinney down there on the sidelines for us today, but beautiful day out here in Central Florida at Central Florida Paintball. We're watching Liberty Flames take on the Florida Gulf Coast University Eagles, who are dominating right now, really pushing hard down that snake side. Won the first 3 points in a row in just under 2 minutes. So Liberty really going to need to try and get something together here. Their coach out there with them right now in the flag station, trying to get them motivated. They really need to try and keep some bodies alive here and give themselves a chance to fight back. But Luis Munoz said that he was coming hard down that Dorito side, has done it so far off the break. And Liberty, they shot 1 body off the break last game, but I don't know if they can you know, try and get some more bodies down early, give themselves a chance, keeps them alive, maybe get an advantage one of these points. But right now, this game being totally dominated by Florida Gulf Coast.
Domination. They brought their Costco card. All these Liberty players coming off wholesale. There's another Liberty player coming off the break. Didn't even make it into the bunker. We have Florida just dominating that snake side. Liberty losing 2 players now. And snake player looking for that cross shot on the Dorito side. Liberty, you know, they're coming out kind of conservative, and that may be costing them. They're not playing as aggressive as Florida. You know, Florida's just taking up the real estate that Liberty's giving them. Well, that's not a good thing to do in paintball. Yeah,
and you definitely see Florida Gulf Coast switching it up a little bit after going really hard down the Dorito side.
We're red.
They came really hard down the snake side
Paint
this
train.
time. Number 77 right through the middle of the field. Luis Munoz again coming through the middle and blasting Liberty player.
He's a tricksy little hobbit, that guy. He came through the middle. I thought he was coming snake, Todd. I've been saying he can come snake and go middle.
They came hard through that. That was Aaron Thompson right there, the last Liberty player who wore it in the middle of the field, but went short on the Dorito side that time. Came too hard, 2 gunners towards the snake side, shot 1 body for Liberty off the snake side early, gave them that 5-4 advantage, and then Liberty lost a gunfight. And 5-on-3, you know, those are the really tough situations. Try and fight back. And now it is a 4-0 ball game, and we'll be right back after these messages. All right, looks like we're going to check out this replay real quick before we go. Here comes number 34 right down the center of the field for Florida Gulf Coast, Podgorski. He's going to hang that flag with no problem. It's Florida Gulf Coast University just dominating right now, really sticking it to Liberty. I mean, I'm sure that this isn't the type of performance that Liberty expected to come out with their first game.
Not at all, you know, especially on a rebuilding year. I mean, you kind of expect, you know, a little, you know, a couple points here and there given away, but starting off 0-4, you know what I mean? You know, you hope to do a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, down 4-0 right now. The good thing about the games out here at the NCPA is that we play 2 10-minute halves. So, you know, there's still plenty of time for them to get back into this game. And Liberty does have a lot of really talented players. You know, number 22 down there, Miller, I mean, he was one of the players that a lot of the Liberty players were talking about. You know, his presence in the snake, it's just been a little bit tough for them so far, you know, because they keep losing bodies. You know, in paintball, in order to gain that advantage on the break, you shoot players, you shoot heavy lanes, try and key up on players where you expect them to go, to give yourself that body advantage. And then once you have that body advantage, being able to hold it and capitalize off it, you know, is the name of the game here off the break as we're getting ready to go. Once again, Liberty, very conservative breakouts, losing their first body on the Dorito side and then attacking up the middle. Florida Gulf Coast
losing 2 players off the get.
So now here we see Liberty with the body advantage, and they start to get moving, but Florida Gulf Coast still attacking Munoz. Luis Munoz up here and walks into the 50 snake. Not sure how Liberty let him do that with the body advantage.
Munoz is doing some work here, shooting a Liberty player cross field. Looks like Miller is looking. Miller is coming for Miller, and
oh, and Munoz just smokes Miller down with his gun down in the snake. And just leaving the door open. London Lewis again coming through the middle of the field, closing out games for Florida Gulf Coast. You know, and when you see in that situation right there, Liberty, they shoot 2 bodies, they lose 1, they have the body advantage. But then Luis Munoz fills out to the snake side corner and then is able to walk up into the 50 snake. Let's check this replay out real quick. Here's Munoz from that 50 snake in the pin. He's gonna come down with his gun up, good fundamentals, and just blow Miller to bits right there.
And he walked into that position.
And here, once again, coming down the Dorito side of the field, once Munoz made that move, opened up the door for his teammate to come streaking down the inside and bunker out that last player for Liberty. So,
getting that final check here and make sure they get that clean point.
So when you see a team with a body advantage and players moving, as Munoz did from that snake corner all the way up to the 50 snake, what that tells me is that Liberty isn't communicating very well right now. They're not communicating, hey, we have the body advantage, by screaming out their codes for dead players, how many bodies they have. And then what that tells me also is that the players that, like the player that went from the back center up to that center tower, he should have known where those dead bodies came from and tried to lock that off. Because you're going to have Munoz try and run up to that 50 snake. It should have been an easy kill for him to lock that down from that center temple. But they really need to communicate, go back and reassess what they're doing here. We're going to go down to Kristen Kenny real quick. Down here by the Liberty pits. Kristen, what's going on?
Well, Liberty said they're not frustrated, but they do have a little nervous jitters. They're saying Florida Gulf Coast lanes are really good, and they just need to keep pushing it, guys. All right, back to you.
Lanes, key to the win. Shoot them lanes. Get those guys crossing right through there.
Yeah, and Liberty, I mean, like we said, they're a talented team. It's nice to hear that they're not, you know, getting too rattled out there. They understand what's going on, but, you know, playing strong, playing confident, you know, is a huge part of this game, but their strategy on where they're sending their bodies, you know, is definitely playing a big factor right now. But sometimes, you know, you just play against a team that shoots really good lanes, paint's breaking, it's perfect weather out here for paintball, and Liberty just unable to get out to either side alive. Sometimes when that happens to you, you kind of want to go up the middle a little bit more and try and keep those bodies. And if you can keep 5 bodies alive, off the break, you know, it's such a drastic change, because if you lose 1 body, even, it's 20% of your firepower that you lose on the break. So, you know, being able to just keep 5 bodies alive and maybe be able to try and sort it out after that is what Liberty's going to try and have to do here, because Florida Gulf Coast is switching it up a lot. They're attacking the Dorito side, attacking the Snake side heavy in the beginning of the game, and then letting their intelligent mid players play off of those moves.
There you go. Florida with a 5-0 lead on Liberty.
And for the first time, we see Florida Gulf Coast take both corners, even it out all across the blue line in the back here, really shooting guns heavy, and all 5 bodies alive now for Liberty. So for the first time, they might get a chance here.
Looks like Florida making some moves down the Dorito side there. Still both teams. Oh, I spoke too soon. Liberty losing 2 of their players off the back blue line.
Yeah, it looks like Aaron Thompson coming off right now for Liberty.
No Liberty player coming off. Looks like Florida definitely brought their Costco card and are getting these kills wholesale right now.
Ooh, Mornarth, last player there in the middle. He's going to take it. And I'll tell you what, Luis Munoz has been all over this field right now. This squad dominating. You got Potter, Munoz. I think you got London Lewis down there still. Just having a game right now, really just completely dominating. We've only played a quarter of paintball so far. And the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles
6-0
are up 6-0 on the Liberty Flames. You know, Liberty's one of those teams that just really has a presence too. You know, they pull up here in their giant Liberty Flames tour bus. You know, they get off. You know, they warm up together. You know, a real professional looking team out here. So, you know, but now down 6-0 to the Florida Gulf Coast University Eagles. 4:25 left to go in this game. We'll be right back after these messages. All right, and we are back here now, the NCPA 2013 College Championships, and you're watching the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles taking on, dominating currently, the Liberty Flames, as Liberty sending their bodies back out right now. After getting bunkered pretty bad, we got number 22 Miller, number 64 Thompson, number 703 Garrett Bornarth walking on the field.
Oh, looks like we got a timeout being called right now.
Yeah, I think Liberty probably called that timeout. Going to want to talk about it.
Are they icing the kicker? Is that what's going on here? Are we icing the kicker? Oh, Florida must have called a timeout.
Florida. Looks like they're running a lot of the same guys. You know, Gulf Coast calling that timeout. Maybe try and get some of their other players in there. I do see Marielle Matuzak rolling in, number 47, female player for Florida Gulf Coast University. She told me to remember her name because she was going to come out here and dominate too.
Is she going to come down the snake too and dominate?
I hope so. I hope so. But number 60 out there, Eli Bacher. There's on your screen right there. That's Liberty University.
Trying to figure out what they need to do to put a point on the board here.
Aaron Thompson and Garrett Bornarth. And there you have Bell, John Bell, number 79 for the Florida Gulf Coast University Eagles. Wearing the dye ultralight gear in the gray and lime green.
The ultralight.
So a lot of time left. You know, we talk about 20 minutes, full halves, stop clock in between points. So the time is not running during the timeouts between points. So 2-minute timeout, 35 seconds left before the start of the next point.
What do you think Liberty needs to do here, Todd? I mean, to get back in the game, at least, you know, get a point up there.
I think they need to throw something different in the mix. You know, maybe try and get up the middle a little bit sooner and try and stop, you know, Florida Gulf Coast from getting out so wide on them, because Gulf Coast is running anywhere they want. I've only seen one body die on the break so far for Florida Gulf Coast, and man, they're just getting anywhere they want. They're shooting people on the break. Once they shoot people, they're capitalizing on it and attacking the middle. Let's see if Liberty tries to come wide to the snake. But Florida Gulf Coast just eliminates them, and that's Miller again.
Both corners got eliminated here. 2 Liberty players coming back to the box here, and we have, is this Munoz coming in to terrorize some more people?
Yeah, here they come. Mariel Matuzik in the back center for Florida Gulf Coast.
Liberty coming off another Liberty player. Looks like 2 of them left.
Liberty just dying in droves.
Like a 5-on-2 here.
Liberty, they're just trying to do anything they can. They got 2 bodies left, one on the small cake, or the tall cake on the snake side, actually getting elimination.
I think he stepped out of bounds here. That's what they called here.
Yeah, Ryan Potter getting shot out of the snake. But as Liberty loses, Liberty loses their one snake side player they had. Number 79, John Bell, comes through the middle of the field and just drops the hammer on Aaron Thompson.
Giving him a little back massage.
Yeah, let's take a look here real quick. There's the 2 bodies left alive for Liberty.
I'm out.
Bornarth, he leaves, and then here comes Bell all the way down. There's Matuzik on your screen right there. Female player for Florida Gulf Coast. She's probably the one that shot Miller on the break, running out here to the snake side. This Florida Gulf Coast shot heavy over here towards the snake, and they're just shooting bodies on the break at will. Liberty right now just getting buried. 7-0, 3 minutes left to go in the first half. And maybe once they switch sides, maybe it'll be better for them. But here comes Bell, cuts to the inside.
Here's that back massage he's handing out right here. Let me get you right there, dog. And cramping up? No, let me massage that back for you.
Pump the brakes real quick. Hold up. Wait a minute.
I may put some boom in it.
Oh, look at this. Here we go. We got lots of cameras out here trying to get all the coverage.
Those are cankles right there, I guess. What are we doing here?
We get a little wash. Paintballs flying everywhere. Literally hundreds of paintballs flying through the air every breakout. Sometimes the cameras get a little
get a little love.
Get a little love.
Get a little paint job. There we go. Clean me up.
There we go. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Cameraman? Much better.
The unsung heroes of the field.
Just under 20 seconds before the start of the next point. Florida Gulf Coast with a commanding 7-0 lead, and really not getting much from Liberty right now.
Commanding.
You see Burns, Thompson, Bornarth coming back on the field.
And we're off.
And there you go.
2 Florida players coming off. The Dorito side for Florida is just completely empty. Looks like Liberty making the move up the middle to the X. Oh, two more Florida players coming off. Looks like it's a 1-on-5.
And that's Miller diving into the snake right there, crawling all the way down to the 50 snake, but just one body left alive for Florida Gulf Coast. Going to try and fight back. And here comes Thompson. He's going to He's going to give it back to number 77, Luis Munoz, for giving it to him for the first 7 points. And Liberty Flames
we on the board.
Gonna get on the board.
We on the board now.
All right. So there you see, finally, Liberty Flames able to shoot some bodies on the break. Shot off 2 players early out of the blue section on the Dorito side for Florida Gulf Coast. And then good job by Noah Burns to take advantage to come up the middle and lock off that Dorito side of the field. Start wrapping and playing the Dorito side of that A. And then you saw Thompson come through and finish off Munoz there to end the game. Quick point real quick, too. That's what Liberty needs. They need to score points quickly and not let Florida Gulf Coast just run this game clock out. And here's Thompson. You're going to see him cut through the middle of the field just as Munoz comes over the top and finds him, but it's too late as Thompson drops the hammer on him. They're going to call in his teammates to grab the flag, run it in, and put that point on the board. 1 minute till the start of the next game. 2:51 left to go in this half. Beautiful day of paintball. We're just getting started here at the National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. We're going to be broadcasting for the next 3 days. I'm up here with Kevin Catfish Arcia, longtime pro player with the Ironmen Excessive. We got, of course, the infamous Matty Marshall with us and Dave Pando. And, of course, Kristen Kenny joining us this year down on the sideline, getting us all the up to the minute information from the pits, behind the scenes, what's going on down there with all the teams. So got a good crew, all the cameramen out here ready for a nice day, get all the action for you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends what's going on. Tell them to tune in, check us out. These are the best of the best for the college teams. We have all the top teams, all the single A teams, as we're going to have another timeout here on the field. All the single A teams you will see being broadcasted here throughout the weekend. And then, of course, there are other games going on.
Liberty calling the timeout, trying to ice the kicker on Florida here.
Hey, whatever they think can work right now. You know, they need to start digging deep. I mean, because 6 points, I mean, in a match like this, it's not an insurmountable lead, but Florida Gulf Coast really just dominating right now with their guns on the break. I mean, if they can continue to shoot people on the break like this, they can sit and, you know, take care of this lead. But that's not the way to win paintball games. And we'll see what happens here coming up right after this break. All right, and we are back here. I see number 15, Hawkins, number 21, Burns.
Got Miller
number 22, Miller coming back, as well with Garrett Bornarth heading on the field for Liberty. You know, Miller was he got into the orange section off the break last game for Liberty.
Oh, man.
Definitely made a little bit of a difference, you know, having all the bodies on the field for Liberty, getting a good wide spread.
Guns up.
You know, giving him an opportunity to play, get in that snake and have some bodies alive. You know, Miller's been able to get over here a little bit, but has just not really had much support behind him. With 3 seconds left to go, Florida Gulf Coast.
Oh, Miller.
Send number 11, Javier Ortiz, out to the Dorito side corner as they double up the back center, but one body drops right away.
Florida losing a player as well, coming over to the snake side.
Yeah, that's number 2. Michael Hirsch tried to get out here.
Miller
on the
getting
secondary.
blazed, trying to dive into that snake.
If Liberty is going to do well, they're going to need Miller to be productive in this snake. Florida Gulf Coast now in the 3 closest bunkers to the back center. And Florida Gulf Coast just pushing on them as London Lewis is able to fill out here to the snake, right where Michael Hirsch dropped his body. And another body come walking off of Florida Gulf Coast.
It
is a 3-on-3.
Look at Liberty player shifting out to Dorito, getting smoked in the grill.
Yeah, Lewis, who bumped over here into the snake too in the orange section, just picked him up. And then Bornarth gets shot from the Dorito side of the field, and that last body alive.
Not
Thompson.
looking good for Liberty at this current moment.
Yeah. At some point, Thompson's got to go into his pit and be like, hey, guys, you know, getting old being the last player over here in the back center.
Time to wake up.
Yeah, they need to be smarter about their bodies. I mean, Liberty is kind of going nonchalant into some of these spots. You know, I guess I feel like, you know, sometimes it's more important to dive in there hard and get in there alive than it is to try and, you know, squeeze out a couple extra balls. You see the field right now, the refs giving a little check to one of the players for Florida Gulf Coast, making sure his gun is legal. You know, all the guns are restricted over here as far as the speed and the balls per second. So the referee's on top of it with those virtue clocks, able to read, make sure all the guns are legal.
Make sure they're legit.
But Florida Gulf Coast putting another point on the board. 8-1 in the 3-on-3 like that. I mean, the communication just needs to be a little bit better for Liberty.
Definitely.
I mean, when the bodies come off, you got to know where they came from and not let players fill. I mean, we saw earlier, you know, when they let Munoz fill out here to the snake side. I mean, again, they did a good job of locking off, and then when they shot Michael Hirsch filling out, but then they let the player for Florida Gulf Coast fill out to the Dorito side, and he's the one that ended up chopping him up over here across the field. I mean, paintball is a game of angles. You know, if you're able to get up the field, you're not always dealing with the guys right in front of you. You know, as you move from the blue section to the orange section to the red section, you know, sides, backs, packs start to open up across the field for you to shoot out. So good job by Florida Gulf Coast continuing to attack in that 3-on-3 situation, get good angles across the field. As just under 10 seconds before the start of this next game,
still
you got Ryan
half. Potter
running out. You got Mariel Matuzek back on for Florida Gulf Coast.
And we're off.
And Florida Gulf Coast, or Liberty University, just not going anywhere on the break. They started down a body.
Losing a body off the break here.
And they lose another one. So 3 bodies left alive, and 1 player gets shot in the pack on the Dorito side. He's coming off.
You know, Liberty needs to happen for them, because it's not looking good at the current moment. Florida just, these Eagles are just everywhere, just flying across the field, you know, taking up all this real estate that Liberty is just conceding to them, not even challenging. Munoz asking for a check in the back of his grill here. I mean, looks like he is eliminated, and another point being given to the Eagles right now. They walk the flag over.
So Liberty Flames really struggling on the break. You know, they have just not shot anybody, and on top of that, they're not locking any bodies, not locking any sides down. You know, let's take a look at this replay real quick. As you see Liberty players just losing gun battles all over the place, as Florida Gulf Coast just swarming this entire field, just dumping on Liberty right now.
It's definitely not a Liberty that we're used to seeing. You know, we're used to seeing Liberty just battling. But then again, you know, like we mentioned earlier, it's a rebuilding year for them. You know, they lost quite a few key members of their team from last year. So, I mean, in a rebuilding year, you're gonna take your lumps. You know, and right now Liberty is taking their lumps.
Yes, sir. And with a 9-1 lead, Florida Gulf Coast. We'll be right back after these messages. All right, and we are back here. Todd Martinez up in the booth with Kevin Catfish Arcia. And we are watching Florida Gulf Coast University Eagles taking on the Liberty Flames, and it has been a rough first half for the Liberty Flames. Catfish, you were talking about how they are in a little bit of a rebuilding year, but you know, these players have been around when those players from last year were there. You know, they need to learn from them, believe in their system, you know, and kind of take what made Liberty so successful in the past and try and bring it on to the year over. But, I mean, right now, Florida Gulf Coast just looking hot with Lewis, Munoz, Hirsch, Ortiz, just playing some serious ball out there right now as they're going to get back on the field with an 8-point lead on the break. 41 seconds left to go in the half. And Florida Gulf Coast changing routes up,
Man,
up the middle and across.
Munoz taking no prisoners right now, letting back massages just flow.
Luis Munoz said he was coming, and he did not disappoint. Liberty Flames
Penalty.
gonna catch a major penalty. And just when you thought this half would run out, 41 seconds,
Not
Liberty
gonna happen.
gets a major, and Florida Gulf Coast puts a 22nd point up on the board right before halftime with double digits now.
Florida just not giving in any points, just not taking any prisoners right now.
No, not at all. You know, this is kind of what we saw last year from Liberty.
Yeah.
You know, when they were doing this to other teams. University of Omaha, who didn't make the trip last year, I mean, just utterly dominating teams. And Florida Gulf Coast right now starting to look like, you know, they want to be in contention to be one of the favorites. You know, let's check out this replay real quick.
Looks like we got Munoz just going under the X and just giving a back massage to the stand up here, receiving a little head massage of his own. And, you know, plays like that are just going to put Liberty on the back of their heels because they're not expecting a guy, you know, 10 seconds into the game just all up in your grill, you know, especially in the blue line. Just coming through the blue line, hey, this is happening.
I mean, Munoz looked like he didn't even get picked up until he ran through the back center player's stream. But, I mean, Munoz up the middle, straight at that tall tower in the orange section, cut back through the middle of the A, went underneath, straight onto the orange side of the field for Liberty, bunkered out their center player, and he was the one that ended up getting the major as he stayed on. I think that was Natsky.
Yeah, after receiving that back massage from Munoz, he just decided, I'm not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, if you look at the body language right now for the Liberty Flames, you know, you see number 77, Tippy's coming on the field right now. You know, wearing that Flames jersey.
Munoz is just being tricksy right up the middle on that game.
Bobby Majic on the field for Liberty. You know, Liberty, man, they really just need to try and slow this game down.
Yeah.
Because Florida Gulf Coast is just preying on the tempo of this game right now. Things are going fast. They're shooting bodies on the break. And every time they see somebody walk off, they're just off to the races. But Florida Gulf Coast loses one body on the break. The Liberty Flames trying to play that dead zone behind the pin in the blue section on the Dorito side. Able to get out alive this time, but starting with 4 because of the major penalty. And that's going to run the last 18 seconds off of this half. So
that was a half?
Very dominant half. I know we thought it would never come, but it did. So 10 minutes left to play, first half over with, and Florida Gulf Coast University just dominating the Liberty Flames right now. Halftime couldn't have come much sooner as they need to go back into their pit, regroup, and try and figure out what they need to do to get back into this game.
Hope they brought their lunches because it's going to be a long day if they keep it up like this.
It sure is. We have Chris and Kenny down on the sideline right now with Aaron Thompson of Liberty Flames.
Aaron, you're getting killed off the break there. What's happening, man?
Well, we're just getting shot out. Getting shot out off the break, getting shot out of our bunkers. This other team we're playing against, they have really good lanes, and we're just down on our bunkers. So we need to keep it tight. We need to tighten up, get to our bunkers, and just kind of hunker down and get on our lanes and prevent them from coming up on the D side and the snake side. That's really what's been killing us. Is just we get into our bunkers sometimes, but we'll get shot out of our bunkers, or off the break, we'll just get shot off the break.
Well, you're the veteran out here, so what are you saying to your team? You trying to get their energy level up?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get their heads in it. I don't want anybody to go out there looking down with their heads down. You get us off the break, it happens, it's paintball. But we want to go out there with our heads up, knowing that, the last point is the last point. We can squash it and come out here and play strong, just like we've been known to do in the past years.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Guys.
They have been known to come out strong in the past years, he's right about that. But with down 9?
Yeah, but I mean, Thompson, you can see he's a leader. He understands what's going on here. He realized that they need to slow it down a little bit, and be alive so that they can, try and play in this ball game. But, it's going to be tough now. 9-point deficit. Florida Gulf Coast dominating right now. We'll be right back after these messages with the second half.
makes the Virtue Spire the best loader in paintball?
What makes the Virtue Spire the best loader in paintball? Not only is the Spire smaller and lighter than the competitors,
The Spire is designed to take the toughest abuse the paintball puts out and keep feeding no matter how bad your paint or weather gets.
With a true 200 round capacity, it holds more paint as well.
and not only is it easier to take apart, but more importantly, it's easier to put back together. Find out more at virtuespire.com.
All right, we are back here at the National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. I am Todd Martinez. I'm up here with Kevin Catfish Arcia. We got Kristen Kenny on the sidelines for us, but right now we are watching a Florida Gulf Coast University Eagle team just utterly dominate the Liberty Flames. And Liberty Flames now just taking this halftime to try and get back in it, you know, come together and talk about what they're doing wrong. We saw that interview with Thompson before the break, and you know, he's absolutely right. They just need to be alive in their bunkers and give themselves a chance to play, but they're going to start with that major penalty on the board still.
Losing a player off the D side here, having to shift another player out there.
And Liberty Flames trying to make that bump, gets out alive to the Dorito side, trying to stop the bleeding. Trying to come up the middle is Garrett Bornarth.
Florida into the red part of the snake here. Off, didn't even stop at the orange.
Now Michael Hirsch.
Looking for that crossfield shot here.
Michael Hirsch there in the 50 snake.
Yeah.
Looking to go to work.
And Florida just taking all this real estate from them. Just going to where they want to go, you know, at will. Not really any pressure on them. Looks like Liberty trying to even up the side here and loses their last player as Florida walks another flag.
Yeah, Jeremy Miller tried to do what he could to pull something out. Was able to shoot out both Hirsch and Podgorski out of that snake, but I mean, here you're going to see him come up. There they are, Podgorski and Hirsch. Here comes Miller, going to catch them both sleeping. But I believe that was like a 3-on-1 or a 4-on-1 situation.
Yeah, it was a 5-on-1.
Needless to say, there were still a lot of bodies left on the field for Florida Gulf Coast, and those two didn't hurt them as they're able to put another point up on the board. And it's not just that they're putting points on the board, they're doing it quick. They're shooting bodies on the break, and then they're just swarming this field. I mean, this field is a really cool field. You know, checking out this layout, there's a lot of big stuff in the middle for you to attack. Good lanes to shoot on the break. And, you know, Florida Gulf Coast just taking advantage every aspect of this game. 11-1. We'll be right back after these messages. And we are back. Just under a minute to go in the second half here before the next game starts. The teams have flip sides. Florida Gulf Coast University on your right, Liberty Flames on your left. Florida Gulf Coast University Dominators.
They're dominators. I mean, they're Eagles, and Eagles are just, they dominate.
Just snatching Liberty Flames out of the ocean like little fishies.
Little fish, America.
You know, just crushing them and eating them, chewing them up, and spitting out their bones right now.
Yeah, this is 11-1. I've never seen Liberty at, you know, behind this far ever since I've been coming to these. And it's just like you usually see them dominating, but right here is turn of the tables, and they're, you know, getting to paddling right now.
Yeah, we got Kristen Kenny down here on the sidelines. Kristen, what's going on?
Hey guys, I know you were talking about Marielle Matuzak earlier. She said just call her M. She's got a little interesting story. It's her first year playing. Her cousins persuaded her to play, and the first time she got hit, it felt like a swarm of bees attacking her. That's what she told me, guys.
Swarm of bees. It looks like they're swarming all over Liberty here. I mean, this isn't looking well. Liberty losing a player up to get here, and it looks like Florida's just still in control, not really looking to do too many moves. I mean, they're up 10 points, you know.
Yeah.
They're waiting for Liberty to come right now. Liberty player coming out the box here.
Yeah, so finally getting back to full strength, but they did lose one right away. And just, it's all the little short bumps where Liberty keeps losing players.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not extending very far on the break because they're scared of Florida Gulf Coast guns on the break, which, you know, they should be because Florida is just shooting players at will off both sides of the field. But you really have to try and just push past it or get to where you can and communicate
Munoz
better
is
and
just
lock
going
it
to
down.
be real heartless right now and give another back massage and head massage.
Man, Munoz said that he was going to be running down the field all over the place, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't really expect it to be like this.
Yeah, man, he's going to be the masseuse of the day today, just handing out those back massage and head rubs, you know?
Yeah. He's getting the Massage Envy Award of the day on this replay right here. That's Munoz.
Handy massages without the happy ending at all.
No, not at all. So Florida Gulf Coast University doing us all a favor and walking that flag in. You know, letting some more of the time burn off the clock. He's going to take a little seat right there real quick. And
Liberty just allowing it to happen. He's just hiding back there. Liberty coach not pulling the...
Yeah, I don't know if the Liberty coach is recognizing what's going on right now.
Munoz is hiding there.
But what Munoz is doing is he's letting time run off the clock. If Liberty was smart, you know, and had some fight in them, you know, they'd recognize what was going on, blow this horn, you know, concede the point that they lost anyway.
Munoz
so
is laying down at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, right now in this game, I mean, Florida Gulf Coast looking probably to set a record out here with how many points they could score if they'd have kept fighting. But right now, just trying to burn some time off the clock. You know, the thing is, too, is if you're Liberty, what you've been doing for the past 11 points in a row that didn't work, you should probably try something different.
You think?
I'm just going to throw that out there. You know, like, break out to the corner. Stop going short. At least give yourself a chance. Put your head down and dig. Or just attack the middle of the field, because if you're going to get back in this game, then you're going to need to score quick points, a lot of quick points. So, I mean, if they can, you know, stop short but attack the middle and then give themselves some like a distraction and then break out wide, you know, that might work. Or if they can just try and get out as wide as they can, try and send somebody far. I mean, if you're not putting the pressure back on Florida Gulf Coast, then, I mean, you're really just letting them have their way. You know, by going short, you're losing bodies on the break, going short, try and extend somebody. You know, get somebody out wide. Give yourself a chance to put somebody in a position that they can get some kills quick. You know, get up into that orange zone right away. The 1 point that we saw Miller get into that orange zone off the break is the 1 point that they won. And that allowed them to get up farther on the Dorito side. And then they started attacking the middle. But right now, Florida Gulf Coast knows that Liberty is too scared to run out wide. So they're focusing their guns on the inside guy. They're double and tripling up that back center, shooting people on the break out of the short bunkers, and then it doesn't matter. They shoot the fillers. It doesn't matter what Liberty does after that because Florida Gulf Coast is in position to shoot the fillers out of the positions that they just eliminated the primary attackers out of.
Just keeping them at bay, you know, just keeping them trapped in there like a bottleneck, you know, not allowing them to do anything. When you got two guys in one bunker, especially a little temple like that, there's nowhere to hide, man. There's nowhere to hide at all.
Javier Ortiz John Bell for Florida Gulf Coast. That's the Florida Gulf Coast flag station that you can see right there at the start box. I mean, we haven't seen Liberty get into the orange section much.
No.
You know.
Another thing Liberty's
not even
doing.
about the red section.
Yeah, when they're getting into their bunkers, they're stopping short when they feel a hit, and checking themselves, not allowing to get into the bunker, having the ref come over and check them.
Yeah, and Miller tries to go into the orange zone, but he ran with his gun up and out and got clipped in the loader on the way out. Then another Liberty player getting shot out of that back center, trying to double it up. Again, this is what happens with Liberty. They lose a couple bodies, then every single player on their team starts just fighting for their life.
Yeah.
They're not communicating like, oh, we lost this guy, lock off this zone.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that comes with the experience, like they talked about being, a younger team, not as experienced as a unit. But, they need to be able to cover these zones, fundamental paintball. You lose a guy, you cover the zone.
Cross up.
But right now, Florida Gulf Coast, 5 bodies alive.
Taking their time coming down the field here.
Yeah.
Not really in a hurry with a 11-point lead. Liberty player just coming off, making it a 2-on-4 here.
Yeah.
Or 4-on-2.
Mornart, there he goes.
Oh, yep.
Familiar situation right now for Liberty Flames.
Oh, man. Another Liberty player coming off, and it looks like the last one is also.
Yep, Burns and Thompson, the last 2 bodies for Liberty again, just stuck back there. Unable to do anything, not getting any production out of their front players.
Yeah. It looks like the Eagles are going to take their time again hanging this flag.
And there's Thompson, number 64, the veteran on the team, doing all he can. Podgorski, number 34, gonna walk that flag in again for the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. Under 5 minutes. This will be point number 13. I mean, and this is painful when you're out here playing these full matches.
Painful.
And just getting bombed on like this. It's kind of rough.
Kind of just getting beat down.
Yeah. I mean, I want to know how many people Luis Munoz has bunkered today. He and Ortiz and Lewis have just been flying down the center of the field, just mercilessly bunkering out Liberty players.
Yeah, it's just this is not a good sight right now. Not for the faint of heart at the moment right now. Not at all.
If you are queasy and don't like bloodshed, close your eyes. But don't change the channel.
Definitely don't do that.
But, I mean, if you want to see, the proper way to execute, take a look at Florida Gulf Coast, because right now they are doing everything right.
Execution is definitely a good choice of words there, because they're pretty much executing everyone on the field right
Absolutely.
now.
London Lewis, number 10, walking on the field right now for FGCU, along with, looks like Eli Bacher.
And are they going to sit Munoz, the killer, or they're just, nope, they're going to let the assassin come back out?
Luis Munoz. Remember that name as we get later on in the tournament here. You got
M's out there too.
Long Beach. Long Beach, one of those teams. The champions from last year, definitely one of the favorites.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're watching Florida Gulf Coast right now,
thinking to themselves like, what is going on here with Liberty? And actually, taking a look at Florida, making sure, if they come across them, how they're going to contain Munoz and the rest of the crew, what lanes they need to shoot, because right now the lanes that Liberty is shooting is not the lanes that they need to be shooting.
And on the break, Florida Gulf Coast going to space it out.
And Liberty player not making the Dorito side at all. Just Florida player coming off the Dorito side as well. Looks like Florida just being more, not taking too much ground here, being a little conservative. Looks like Liberty player trying to get into the snake side here.
If you can't get out wide, then you have to go up the middle and lock down lanes.
Yeah, definitely.
Get up the middle, lock down lanes, and then give your players a chance to try and work outside. Florida Gulf Coast now dives into snake 2. That is number 0, Ryan Potter. And he's going to go to work on the Dorito side of the field as Liberty Flames still in that blue zone.
Hey, we got one player in the orange zone. Come on now.
On the Dorito side. Oh, and there goes another body.
Munoz is just walking around on Dorito's side, just standing up, just kind of looking around, taking a little tea break, and then running up to the 50 Dorito like nothing was going on.
I mean, Munoz out there just doing whatever he wants,
Yeah.
whenever he wants.
And then
And this is what happens. You finally get a body out here on the snake side for Liberty, and he spends the entire game
trying
shooting
to shoot
across
Munoz.
the field. You know, instead of getting up the field into the snake, trying to get better angles and get kills. He's just trying to preserve his own life because he's got to look at the Dorito side of the field for Munoz, who's just going wherever he wants.
Preservation is the key word here. Trying to stay alive. John Travolta.
Florida Gulf Coast in the snake too.
Oh man,
See
Munoz. Look
Potter
at
on your
Munoz.
screen.
What's going on over there? No one's looking at him. And oh wow, a flag.
Oh wow.
Wow. Who got the flag? Who's the penalty on?
I don't know, but Munoz is still alive.
Munoz is going to be nice, or is he just going to let this guy have it in the back?
I think Munoz trying to
Oh, look
decide
at
if
Munoz
he's
just
still
standing
alive or
there.
not.
Like, yeah, he's like, well, am I alive? No, yeah, Munoz was alive. He was being a nice guy over there.
Yeah, he got a big hit on his leg.
Yeah. So Munoz does have a heart after all. Just not a stone cold killer out there.
No, 14 points is what this is going to be right here.
Todd, do you know what the record is in the college championships here for points?
I'm not quite sure.
Offhand?
I mean, we watched the University of Omaha last year put up, 12s, 13s on several teams. But, I mean, right now, Florida Gulf Coast, I mean, I don't even know if they expected the game to be like this against Liberty, who they saw last year, be one of the top teams in the league. But Florida Gulf Coast just going to let that time run out. Florida Gulf Coast also did get actually, no, Liberty is the one that got the major on that. So Liberty, they're serving a penalty as well. Doing a little dance right there as Potter.
Oh, they're going to let the time go out. And the penalty, no, he's going to hang it. How funny would that have been if he just stood there celebrating? And penalty man came out and just blazed him as he's dancing around. That'd have been great.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. But not enough time.
Not enough time. Too little, too short.
So Florida Gulf Coast gonna run back in. Minute 36 before the start of the next point. Hopefully, for Liberty's sake, it'll be the last point of this match. But
I think it's going to be the last point. I mean, yeah, like you said, I hope for their sake it is, because I mean, how much of a beating can you take?
Hopefully not much more, but I mean, Liberty, I mean, they have character. It's not like their character left, with the players from last year. They still have their leader, Thompson. He's going to bring him back in. He's going to go talk to him, and try and pull it together. And they'll be out here watching games, trying to figure out what went wrong, go back, talk to his players. But, I mean, they're really going to need to reassess their whole game planning situation about where they were going, what people's responsibilities were. You can't just accept, they just shot us on the break. 'Cause they shot you every single game on the break.
Yeah, shot every single break.
Every single game. You got to try something different, and if it's not trying to extend, you got to go up the middle, try and lock off these lanes, keep bodies alive, and then communicate and get your players an opportunity to be in their spots alive, get gun dominance down the wires, and then try and bump out. But, I mean, they've just been playing defense for the past 18 minutes, 19 minutes. It's just breakout defense. What's cool about paintball is, paintball is a game that it's on the break, it's offense, but can turn to defense really quickly.
Really
you
fast,
lose a body,
as Liberty has learned.
You got to know when that changes. And then, once you start getting some bodies back alive, it can switch back to offense really quick.
Yeah.
So
Florida losing a player off the Dorito side as well as Liberty here. Oh, Liberty losing their snake player. It's just been a rough start for Miller here.
Oh, look at this shot in the middle of the field. Thompson with the gun over his head. Trying to get a shot down, but number 2 over here, Michael Hirsch into the 50 snake. He's just going to take his time and wait to blow Thompson apart.
Yeah, as he comes
45
out of the
seconds
box,
left.
He's going to He's gonna wear it here.
Looks like Tippy in the box.
Hey, he doesn't even want to come out. Don't come out. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
For the children. Michael Hurst is just gunned up.
Just gunned up on that box. Oh,
Tippy just gets destroyed. Sorry, Tippy. Oh, number
Unleash
34.
the dogs.
Chugging and charging right down the middle of the field.
Oh, man. 17 seconds, and just let the time go, please.
Podgorski looked like he'd never bunkered anybody before in his life,
exactly.
and he wanted to get his first kill.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to do this. Don't hang it. There's 7 seconds. Don't hang it yet.
No, John Bell.
Yeah, don't do
You
it.
don't need the point spread.
Oh.
He's going to hang it.
Wow, 15 quick ones up.
In Spanish, we call that quince.
Quince.
Dropping the quince on him.
You're dropping the quince on you.
Hey, right there. That was him coming, Podgorski.
Yeah, like he did a little dance there too at the end. You see that?
Yeah, Podgorski came down and was like, Aaron Thompson, quince.
Quince.
Gracias.
And the Eagles over here, you can hear their pit going crazy right now, dropping 15. Oh, man.
Yeah, dropping a little 15 piece.
A little 15 piece.
Yeah, we saw one little glimmer from Liberty, you know, with that 1 point, but after that, there really wasn't much that they could do.
Glimmer, I think it was I hate to say an accident on that that point, but I mean, you know, this is definitely a game that you wouldn't have expected to happen, especially with Liberty in it like this and how many points that Florida put up on them, you know.
Yeah, well, the best thing Liberty can do is go back, talk about it, you know, and try and come back stronger next game. You know, this isn't the end of it for them.
No, not at all.
You know, Florida Gulf Coast got to be feeling pretty happy about their performance here. Getting a win up on the board early in the tournament. As you see both teams.
Just, you know, just like you said earlier, like Thompson said, and they're losing their gun battles, you know, they're not taking their time, or, you know, or they were taking their time and just losing their gun battles and making, you know, fundamental mistakes that, you know, should not be made.
Nope, not at all. You know, we're working on getting Munoz down here. I'd like to hear what he has to say after the performance that he just put. I mean, we had a lot of good performances this game from Florida Gulf Coast. Yeah. You know, London Lewis, Javier Ortiz, Luis Munoz, and John Bell. You know, we have Kristen down the sideline right now with Munoz. Kristen, how's it going?
I got the man right here. Huge spread. You guys ever had that big of a spread before?
No, that was pretty dominating. But had World Cup, we beat like FAU 11-0. That was pretty good or something like that. But this was a good match. We were playing fast and aggressive. We were trying to get as many points as we could.
You dominated in all areas. What did you do so well?
Really, what it is we have a core of 5 guys. Those guys play national events. We have some D3 players. I'm a D2 player. We all play a lot of paintball together. Known the guys for a while. So those 5 guys, we just got good, strong guns.
Yeah, you definitely have that team chemistry. And this is your first year.
My first year. Team's been together for a while now, but they've all known me for a while. I play at the same park they do in Fort Myers. So we've all known each other for like 3-4 years. So they wanted me to go to that school, went to that school, and now we got a paintball team.
All right, so big statement coming out here today. What do you think if you face Cal State Long Beach?
Oh, that's all we want. All we want right there. That's going to be a good game. Watch that one.
All right, well, best of luck to you.
Thank you very
guys.
much.
Calling out Long Beach.
Yes, love to hear that. Thank you very much, Kristen. And good game to Munoz. You know, dominant performance right there by Florida Gulf Coast University. Great day of paintball so far here in the morning session. We are going to take a 1-hour break, and we will be back for the afternoon session here at the National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. I'm Todd Martinez for Kevin Arcia and Kristen Kenny. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.